What if everything you've been taught about consciousness and reality is just scratching the surface of a much deeper truth? For centuries, we've built our understanding of the world on a foundation of materialism, the idea that reality is made up of physical matter, governed by mechanical laws, and that consciousness is just a byproduct of the brain. But what if that's not the full story? There's a growing body of scientific evidence suggesting that consciousness isn't just something that arises from the brain. Instead, it may be fundamental to the fabric of existence itself, woven into the very structure of reality, influencing the world in ways we're only beginning to comprehend. This realization is shaking the foundations of both science and spirituality, pushing researchers to explore realms once dismissed as pure speculation. One of the most intriguing frontiers of this exploration is the connection between consciousness and the quantum field. In the microscopic world of quantum mechanics, particles behave in ways that defy classical logic. Electrons seem to exist in multiple places at once. Reality appears to shift depending on whether it's being observed, and information somehow transfers instantaneously across vast distances. Could these bizarre behaviors be linked to the nature of consciousness itself? This is where the concept of superconsciousness comes in. Throughout history, mystics, philosophers, and spiritual traditions have spoken of a vast, interconnected awareness that transcends individual minds. Now, cutting-edge research in quantum physics is beginning to validate these ancient insights. And at the heart of this intersection lies something even more mysterious, the zero-point energy field. Imagine a limitless sea of energy that exists within and around everything, an invisible force field that permeates the entire universe. Science has long considered empty space to be just that, empty. But in reality, what appears to be nothingness is brimming with energy, an untapped reservoir of potential that could redefine how we understand existence itself. If consciousness interacts with this field, the implications are profound. It would mean that thoughts, intentions, and awareness don't just exist within the brain, they resonate with the very structure of the cosmos. So, what connects consciousness and the quantum field? And why are quantum physicists now turning to ancient wisdom traditions to explain their most baffling discoveries? That's exactly what we're going to explore. By the end of this video, you'll have a radically expanded understanding of reality. You'll see why mainstream science has struggled to explain consciousness, why the quantum world behaves in ways that seem almost magical, and how everything we think we know might just be the tip of the iceberg. We're going deep into the mysteries of the mind, the universe, and the hidden forces that shape our reality. And as you listen, you might start to notice something, a shift in the way you perceive the world around you. Let's begin. The human mind is not just in the brain, it extends into dimensions we're only beginning to understand. For centuries, science has operated under the assumption that consciousness is merely a product of neural activity, generated by the firing of synapses in the brain. But as research advances, this explanation seems increasingly inadequate. If consciousness were solely confined to the brain, how do we explain near-death experiences where individuals recall vivid details while clinically unconscious? What about experiments suggesting that human awareness can influence physical systems at a distance? These anomalies challenge the idea that the mind is limited to physical processes. Instead, they suggest that consciousness might be something more, a field, a presence, or even a fundamental aspect of the universe itself. Before we explore these ideas in depth, let's trace how our understanding of consciousness has evolved over time. For much of history, consciousness was the domain of philosophy and spirituality. Ancient traditions from the Vedas to Greek philosophy described consciousness as something intrinsic, not just a byproduct of the physical body. Plato spoke of an eternal realm of ideas, while Buddhist and Hindu texts explored states of awareness beyond the ordinary waking mind. With the rise of modern science, a new perspective emerged, materialism. This view posited that consciousness was nothing more than brain activity, an emergent property of complex neural interactions. By the 20th century, behaviorism had taken hold, reducing the study of the mind to observable actions while largely ignoring subjective experience. But then something happened. The field of quantum physics started revealing a universe that didn't fit neatly into the materialist framework. Experiments suggested that observation played a fundamental role in shaping reality, hinting that consciousness might be more than just a passive observer. It might be an active participant in the unfolding of the universe. At the same time, new research into altered states of consciousness, psychedelic experiences, and meditation was beginning to show that the mind was capable of accessing dimensions of awareness far beyond ordinary perception. This resurgence of interest in consciousness led to a renewed exploration of what it truly is and how it functions. Different models of consciousness. To understand where science stands today, we need to look at the different models of consciousness that have emerged. 1. Materialist model. This is the conventional view that consciousness is a byproduct of brain activity, with no independent existence beyond the physical body. It assumes that when the brain ceases to function, consciousness ceases as well. 2. Dualist model. Proposed by thinkers like René Descartes. This model suggests that mind and matter are separate but interacting substances. The brain may be involved in consciousness, but awareness itself exists in a non-physical realm. 3. Panpsychist model. This is gaining traction among some modern philosophers and scientists, proposing that consciousness is a fundamental aspect of the universe, just like space, time, and energy. In this view, all matter has some degree of consciousness. 4. Non-dualist model. Found in many spiritual traditions, this perspective sees consciousness as the ground of all existence. Instead of arising from the brain, it is primary, and the physical world emerges from it. Each of these models offers a different way of understanding consciousness, but traditional science has largely struggled with one key issue, the hard problem of consciousness. Coined by philosopher David Chalmers, the hard problem of consciousness refers to the difficulty of explaining why and how subjective experiences arise. Science can describe brain activity, but it cannot explain why a person experiences the color red, the sound of music, or the feeling of love. This issue remains unsolved. Neuroscientists can map brain regions associated with different functions, but they still cannot explain why self-awareness exists at all. Some scientists have even suggested that consciousness might be an illusion, but this argument collapses on itself. After all, who is experiencing the illusion? The hard problem has led some researchers to consider radical possibilities. If consciousness cannot be fully explained through material processes alone, perhaps it is something more fundamental, a force, a field, or a primary aspect of reality itself. This is where the concept of superconsciousness comes into play. Throughout history, various cultures have spoken of an expanded state of awareness that goes beyond the individual ego. This superconsciousness has been described in different ways. In Hindu philosophy, it is Brahman, the infinite awareness beyond the personal self. In Buddhism, it is the realization of emptiness, a state where individual consciousness dissolves into a greater whole. In Christian mysticism, it is often called divine union, an experience of oneness with God. In modern psychology, Carl Jung referred to the collective unconscious, a deeper layer of the psyche that connects all human beings. Despite different cultural interpretations, the essence remains the same. Superconsciousness represents a state of being beyond ordinary thought, one that is deeply interconnected with the universe itself. Modern research is now validating these ancient insights. Studies on meditation, near-death experiences, and psychedelic substances suggest that human consciousness is capable of transcending the limits of space and time. Some experiments even hint that consciousness might exist independently of the brain, interacting with the world in ways that defy conventional understanding. For thousands of years, ancient traditions have claimed that consciousness is not confined to the brain. Practices such as meditation, prayer, and energy work have long been used to access higher states of awareness. These weren't just mystical experiences, they were methods of tuning in to a greater field of consciousness. Now, quantum physics is offering a new perspective on these ancient ideas. If consciousness is connected to the very fabric of reality, then what we think, feel, and intend might have a direct impact on the world around us. But how is this possible? The answer may lie in the quantum field itself, the strange, invisible realm where particles behave in ways that defy logic. Could this be the bridge between the human mind and the fundamental structure of the universe? As we move forward, we'll uncover how the quantum world challenges everything we thought we knew about reality. What if the universe is not a machine, but a living, conscious system. And what does that mean for us as conscious beings? Let's explore further. At the heart of modern physics lies quantum mechanics, a field that has challenged our understanding of reality in ways no one could have predicted. Unlike classical physics, which describes a predictable, mechanical universe, quantum physics reveals a world that is uncertain, interconnected, and deeply mysterious. One of the most baffling discoveries in quantum mechanics is wave-particle duality. Experiments have shown that tiny particles like electrons and photons can behave both as particles and as waves, depending on how they are observed. This phenomenon suggests that reality does not exist in a definite state until it is measured. Then there's the observer effect, one of the most controversial implications of quantum theory. In experiments like the famous double-slit experiment, particles act like waves when not observed, but the moment they are measured, they collapse into a defined state. This raises a profound question. Does consciousness play a role in shaping reality? If observation itself influences physical events, could it be that our consciousness is not just a passive observer of the universe, but an active participant? Many leading scientists and thinkers have proposed that quantum mechanics may hold the key to understanding consciousness. Here are a few theories that bridge the gap between quantum physics and the nature of mind. 1. The Copenhagen interpretation. Proposed by Niels Bohr, this view suggests that reality exists in a state of probabilities until it is observed. In other words, consciousness determines reality. This idea aligns with ancient spiritual teachings that describe the world as a projection of the mind. 2. The many worlds interpretation. According to this theory, every possible outcome of an event exists in a separate parallel universe. This raises the possibility that consciousness might navigate between these worlds, selecting different realities based on choices, focus, and intention. 3. The orchestroir theory, orchestrated objective reduction. Developed by physicist Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff, this theory suggests that consciousness arises from quantum processes inside the brain's microtubules, tiny structures within neurons. If true, this would mean that consciousness is deeply embedded in the quantum fabric of reality itself. 4. The holographic universe theory. Some physicists propose that the universe functions like a giant hologram, where information is stored in a higher dimensional space. This theory suggests that our experience of reality is a projection, much like a virtual simulation. If this is the case, consciousness might not be localized in the brain but instead exist across dimensions. If consciousness is indeed linked to the quantum field, then this could explain phenomena that mainstream science has long dismissed, such as intuition, telepathy, synchronicity, and even manifestations of thought into reality. This would mean our thoughts and intentions could influence the material world in ways we don't yet fully understand. The mind may exist beyond the body, allowing for experiences such as near-death encounters and out-of-body perceptions. Reality might be flexible, and what we perceive as the physical world could be more malleable than we assume. Ancient traditions have spoken about these possibilities for centuries. Now, modern physics is beginning to catch up. What if space isn't empty? What if, instead of a void, the very fabric of the universe is teeming with an infinite amount of energy, an ever-present force that underlies everything we see? This is not science fiction. It's the reality described by quantum physics through the concept of the zero-point energy field. Zero-point energy, ZPE, is the lowest possible energy state that a system can have. Even in a vacuum where there are no particles, no heat, and no movement, there is still energy fluctuating at the quantum level. Physicists discovered that even at absolute zero, minus 273.15 degrees Celsius, where all classical movement should stop, particles still exhibit random motion. This means that space itself is not truly empty but filled with an unseen force. The implications of this discovery are staggering. If the universe is built upon an invisible ocean of energy, then our understanding of reality, energy, and even consciousness must evolve to account for this deeper layer of existence. The idea of a pervasive energy field is not new. Scientists have been investigating this phenomenon for over a century, but its true significance is only now being realized. Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, suggested that all matter originates from a fundamental force, beyond what we can measure. Albert Einstein and Otto Stern first theorized the existence of zero-point energy in 1913 while studying atomic motion. Richard Feynman, a pioneer of quantum electrodynamics, stated that a single cubic centimeter of vacuum contains enough energy to power the entire planet. Despite these discoveries, mainstream science has struggled to fully grasp the potential applications of zero-point energy. If tapped correctly, this limitless energy source could revolutionize everything from transportation to medicine. The zero-point field is not just a theoretical construct, it has observable effects. Scientists have documented quantum vacuum fluctuations, tiny bursts of energy appearing and disappearing at unimaginable speeds. These fluctuations suggest that reality itself is built upon a constantly shifting, vibrating field of energy. These fluctuations have been demonstrated in experiments like the Casimir effect, where two uncharged metal plates placed close together experience an attractive force. Not due to any traditional energy, but because the quantum vacuum between them pushes them together. This experiment provides concrete evidence that the vacuum of space is not empty but filled with energy. Could this mean that what we perceive as solid matter is just an illusion? That what we call physical reality is simply a local disturbance in an infinite energy field? The deeper scientists investigate the zero-point field, the more they find connections between energy and consciousness. Some researchers propose that consciousness itself may arise from interactions with this fundamental field. Lynn McTaggart, author of The Field, suggests that our thoughts are not confined to our brains but extend into the zero-point field, influencing reality at the quantum level. Dr. Hal Puthoff, a theoretical physicist, has explored how zero-point energy could explain extrasensory perception and other anomalous human abilities. Nassim Haramein, a physicist and researcher, proposes that consciousness emerges from the dynamic fluctuations of this ever-present field. If consciousness is tied to the zero-point field, then we may be far more powerful than we've been led to believe. Our minds might have the ability to interact with this universal energy, shaping our experiences in ways we are only beginning to understand. Despite its potential, zero-point energy remains one of the most misunderstood concepts in science. Some view it as nothing more than a mathematical artifact with no real-world applications. Others claim it holds the key to limitless, clean energy but has been suppressed due to its disruptive potential. The challenge lies in measurement and control. While physicists acknowledge the presence of zero-point energy, extracting and utilizing it remains a major hurdle. Technologies like the Casimir effect and experiments in quantum electrodynamics suggest that tapping into this field is possible, but mainstream science has yet to develop a practical method. However, history has shown that scientific breakthroughs often begin as radical ideas before becoming accepted truths. Just as quantum mechanics was once seen as absurd, zero-point energy may soon be recognized as the missing link between physics and consciousness. If the zero-point energy field is real, and if it plays a role in both matter and consciousness, then our entire perception of reality must shift. The implications go beyond physics. They extend into philosophy, spirituality, and human potential. The universe is not separate from us. We are active participants in a vast, interconnected energy field. Our thoughts and intentions may interact with this field, influencing the world around us. A limitless energy may exist all around us, waiting to be understood and utilized. Ancient traditions have long described a life force energy, prana, chi, ether, that permeates existence. Perhaps these teachings were early descriptions of what science is only now beginning to recognize. Next, we will explore the bridge between quantum physics and human consciousness, revealing how the mind might interact with the fabric of reality in ways that challenge everything we thought we knew. In classical physics, reality exists independently of observation. A rock remains a rock, whether or not anyone is looking at it. But quantum mechanics tells a different story, one in which observation plays a crucial role in shaping what we call reality. One of the most astonishing discoveries in quantum physics is the observer effect. When scientists conduct the double-slit experiment, they find that particles behave as waves when not observed, but collapse into particles when measured. This suggests that the mere act of observation influences the outcome. But what does this mean? Is consciousness directly affecting matter? If reality exists as a field of probabilities until observed, then who or what is the ultimate observer? Some physicists argue that consciousness collapses the quantum wave function, meaning reality exists as potential until awareness brings it into form. This idea challenges the traditional view that consciousness is merely a byproduct of the brain. Instead, it suggests that mind and matter are deeply interconnected. Several quantum physicists and researchers propose that the universe may function as a hologram, a vast projection where each part contains the whole. David Bohm, a theoretical physicist, suggested that the universe operates under an implicate order, where everything is interconnected at a deeper level beyond space and time. Carl Pribram, a neuroscientist, found evidence that the brain itself processes information holographically, meaning perception may be more of an interpretation than a direct reflection of an objective world. If reality is holographic, this means that consciousness is not just experiencing the universe, it is participating in its creation. The idea aligns with many spiritual teachings that claim the external world is a reflection of internal states. Could this be why meditation, visualization, and focused intention seem to influence reality? If consciousness plays an active role in shaping the world, then mastering our minds might be the key to unlocking human potential. Another mind-bending phenomenon in quantum physics is quantum entanglement. When two particles become entangled, their states remain connected, no matter how far apart they are. A change in one instantly affects the other, even if they are light years away. Albert Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance, because it defied classical physics. But experiments have repeatedly confirmed that entanglement is real, meaning that at a fundamental level, everything in the universe may be interconnected. What if human consciousness works the same way? Some studies suggest that telepathy and intuitive connections between people could be explained by quantum entanglement. Research in global consciousness proposes that human minds may form a collective field, influencing events on a large scale. And near-death experiences, NDEs, and out-of-body experiences often describe a sense of oneness, as if consciousness is not limited to the body but part of a greater field. If our minds are interconnected through an unseen quantum web, then thoughts, emotions, and even beliefs may ripple across reality in ways we are only beginning to understand. If observation collapses the quantum wave function, and if the universe is a hologram influenced by consciousness, then we must ask, do we create our reality? Many traditions, from ancient mysticism to modern metaphysics, have suggested that reality is shaped by the mind. Quantum physics now offers a scientific basis for these teachings. Neville Goddard, a 20th-century mystic, taught that imagination creates reality, echoing quantum ideas that observation influences outcomes. Ernest Holmes, founder of Science of Mind, believed thoughts are energy patterns that shape experiences. Modern researchers like Dr. Joe Dispenza explore how focused intention, meditation, and visualization affect brainwaves and, possibly, external events. If consciousness plays an active role in reality, then this has profound implications. Thoughts may have creative power, influencing outcomes at the quantum level. Beliefs could shape experiences, aligning with quantum wave functions. Meditation and mindfulness may allow access to deeper layers of reality. Science and spirituality have long been viewed as separate, but quantum physics is bridging the gap. If consciousness is fundamental to reality, then future discoveries may unlock new abilities, from energy healing to telepathic communication. Some questions remain unanswered. Is there a universal mind guiding reality? Can human consciousness truly alter the physical world? How can we harness quantum principles to improve our lives? As research continues, one thing is becoming clear. Reality is far stranger and more magical than we ever imagined. In the next segment, we will explore practical applications of these ideas, revealing how you can use quantum consciousness to transform your life. Understanding the connection between quantum physics and consciousness isn't just an abstract idea. It has real-world applications that can transform how we think, feel, and experience life. If observation influences reality, if thoughts carry energy, and if everything is interconnected, then mastering consciousness might be the key to unlocking limitless potential. 1. The power of focused intention. The observer effect suggests that reality responds to observation. This means where you place your attention shapes your experiences. Quantum experiments and intention. Studies show that focused human intention can influence random number generators and even the structure of water molecules, as seen in Dr. Masaru Emoto's research. A visualization and manifestation. Athletes, performers, and successful individuals use visualization techniques to mentally rehearse outcomes. Neurologically, the brain cannot distinguish between real and imagined experiences, reinforcing the power of mental imagery. How to apply it? Start your day with intentional focus. Visualize your desired outcomes. Before important events, mentally rehearse success as if it has already happened. Be mindful of where you place your attention. Focusing on problems amplifies them, while focusing on solutions creates new possibilities. 2. Reprogramming the subconscious mind. If thoughts influence reality, then limiting beliefs may be blocking personal success. Quantum theories suggest that reality exists in a state of probabilities, meaning multiple possibilities are available at any moment. But our subconscious mind acts like a filter, reinforcing familiar patterns. A neuroplasticity and quantum reality. Neuroscience shows that the brain is malleable, capable of forming new neural pathways. This aligns with the idea that shifting consciousness creates new outcomes. The affirmations and energy fields. Repeated thoughts, affirmations, shape neural pathways, influencing behavior and reality. This is similar to how quantum waves collapse into particles based on observation. How to apply it? Identify negative thought patterns and replace them with empowering beliefs. Use affirmations and self-hypnosis to reprogram the subconscious mind. Engage in gratitude practices, shifting focus from lack to abundance. 3. Meditation and quantum awareness. Meditation isn't just about relaxation. It may be a gateway to deeper realities. Some physicists suggest that consciousness exists beyond the physical brain, resonating with quantum field theories. Brainwaves and quantum coherence. Meditation shifts brainwaves into alpha and theta states, linked to heightened awareness and creativity. A non-local consciousness. Experiments on remote viewing and telepathy hint at the mind's ability to transcend space and time. How to apply it? Practice mindfulness meditation to quiet mental chatter and access deeper awareness. Experiment with guided visualizations that align with desired outcomes. Use theta wave meditation to tap into intuition and subconscious reprogramming. 4. Energy fields and vibrational alignment. If reality is interconnected, then personal energy plays a role in shaping experiences. Many spiritual traditions teach that high-frequency emotions, love, gratitude, joy, attract positive experiences, while low-frequency emotions, fear, anger, guilt, create resistance. A quantum entanglement and emotional influence. Thoughts and emotions may ripple across reality, influencing not just personal experiences but also external events. A heart coherence and reality shaping. Studies from the HeartMath Institute show that the heart generates an electromagnetic field, measurable up to several feet away. Positive emotions enhance this field, creating coherence. How to apply it? A shift into higher vibrational states through gratitude and love. Surround yourself with positive environments and uplifting people. Use breathing techniques to regulate emotional energy. 5. Tapping into the quantum field. Some researchers suggest that the zero-point field, a background energy field pervading the universe, may be a source of unlimited potential. If consciousness interacts with this field, then accessing it could allow for profound transformation. Spontaneous healings and quantum healing. Cases of instant healing defy conventional medicine, hinting at mind-body energy connections. Synchronicities and reality shifts. Many report meaningful coincidences aligning with focused intentions, suggesting reality is responding to consciousness. How to apply it? Enter deep meditative states and set clear intentions. Recognize synchronicities as signals guiding you. Experiment with energy healing modalities like Reiki, Qigong, or quantum touch. Quantum physics is revealing what mystics and sages have long taught. Reality is not fixed. It is fluid, responsive, and shaped by consciousness. You are not merely an observer. You are a co-creator of your experiences. Thoughts, emotions, and beliefs play a real role in shaping reality. By aligning with higher consciousness, you unlock new possibilities. The deeper you explore, the more you realize that the power to shape your reality has always been within you. The question is, how will you use it?